So, I've basically set up the camera and the light here, and I'm going to start talking about something. So, as you may have noticed, I kicked off my YouTube channel a couple of weeks ago, and I started documenting my journey so far. It's been quite a tough journey when it comes to being a freelance content creator, and especially because I was laid off, so I had to, on the fly and really quickly, try to find something to support myself financially. And it's not easy. We are by the end of the year, and this time of the year, usually companies are not hiring. They usually don't even like when people leave. But then there are other companies that think that it is a good idea to let go of a person 1 month before Christmas. So there's a whole spectrum of people in here. So yeah, let's talk a bit about my journey so far in these 13 days looking for a job. So on the first day, I had already a plan for content. I wanted to create content on YouTube, so to showcase what I like to do, what I know how to do, but then the problem arises that I don't have that much time to actually do that, so I need to create content in batches, of course, which is usually my strategy when it comes to creating content, is that I write in batches, record in batches, and edit in batches, and basically then schedule the batches. So everything is scheduled ahead of time. And that's not a problem, usually. But that collided with what I had to do for another YouTube channel, my passion project YouTube channel, The Hand That Feeds HQ. And what did I have going on at the same time? A Christmas feature with 24 videos to be recorded to be posted on 24 days until Christmas. And that took so much of my time that I didn't have any time whatsoever to actually dedicate to these. So I posted the very first video, which is basically the intro video in this YouTube channel. And it was fun. I liked the whole production behind that video because I created everything from the script to the scenic details and everything else about the editing itself to make it a bit funny and to joke a bit around with my situation, which is basically I don't have a job and I need to find one fast. So I actually created that script from the get-go. I found it really, really funny how fast I got to that script because I had a joke. I like to make jokes, especially about some of that dark stuff that happens to me from time to time because I'm quite the unlucky person. So I try to make fun of those times in which actually things don't work, and for me they didn't work again. So I had to make fun of that, and the script ended up with a more comedic tone than anything else that I have ever created in my life. So that was the video for post or basically for day one of my posting schedule. Then after that, I decided that, well, I need to actually follow through and be consistent. And if I can't be consistent with long form content, such as this one that will be barely edited because I don't have time to edit right now and I want to actually put my thoughts out, I decided to start recording shorts. Well, shorts I have tried multiple times for my passion project as well as for clients. They work on and off. They are not necessarily a really strong strategy if you are not editing for retention, and in this case I'm not editing for retention. I'm recording and posting. Basically the only editing that is there is basically cuts. Sometimes I play around with the frames and basically adding the subtitles because every video and every short video should have subtitles. And I didn't do much. I didn't share those on social media. I left those on the YouTube channel for the people that were following the YouTube channel, which we are talking about at the time of recording this episode, 18 people. And I know for sure 4 of those 18 people. So basically, that's my family. I was creating content just for those people. So I was not putting effort into the edition whatsoever. Funny thing. The shorts, and I'm not talking about the results after 13 days, and I'm going to show those on camera. The shorts actually worked pretty well. The shorts were not getting any views in the first day. The second day they were getting some views. In the third day they actually exploded. Some of those, the YouTube algorithm actually left those, reach a lot of people, which then basically then ended up capped at 500 views. But still, I was getting views in videos that I barely edited. I was posting just as a vlog to document my journey and showing everyone that I'm not here to do guru stuff or to actually be a scammer. I'm actually showing what I'm going through as a content creator that doesn't have, basically, I don't have a university or degree in marketing whatsoever. I'm a law graduate, law. Imagine that. So I'm doing this a bit on the fringe of everyone else. And I wanted to document that journey without many things getting in the way of guru stuff, trying to sell anything. At least I'm not selling anything now, but I will eventually try to sell classes about the things that I love, but that's a different thing, and that's something to do in 2025. So in the very first couple of days, I was posting those short videos, and the short videos were working pretty well. So this could be a strategy for you when you are starting. If you don't have that much time to actually create content, and if you, hey, I'm not going to create or sit through an evening to record a batch of videos about topics that I still need to research about, stop that right there and think. You need to be consistent, at least. And people are following you for your journey or the content that you are sharing. So don't overthink it. Don't be a perfectionist. And I'm saying this because I'm a perfectionist myself. So I recorded a couple of videos in the same day that I recorded that intro video for the YouTube channel. I noticed that the audio was pretty banged up and I couldn't save it at all. And I had to deal with the audio as it is in the final version of the intro video. So I scrapped all the videos that I recorded that day. And there were many really, really good in there. I'm a perfectionist. And I was thinking, if I was on the other side, I would not watch these because of the sound quality. But then I need to understand that what matters most, I would say, is the message. Of course, the audio is really important because most people listen to the videos, don't watch the videos. And usually a bad audio experience will detract people from watching the rest of the video. You should know that by now. So yeah. What was I talking about? Well, creating the short videos and the videos actually working. So this could be a strategy for you if you are starting out. You don't have enough time to create content. Just record short videos. Put a memo in your calendar to record a short video every day and document your journey. Go as I go, basically. Day 1, I did this. Day 2, I did that. Day 3, this happened. Document the journey. Don't lie, because people know when people are lying. But document your journey. It will be interesting for you to actually go back and see where you were and where you are right now. And it will be interesting for people to actually see you grow, because people like to see those types of stories of the underdog actually getting what they deserve or what they wanted. So this is something that you should document. And as well, it will make you more disciplined, more consistent, and more disciplined when it comes to creating content. So this is something that you should start doing. And also, if you are not comfortable on camera, right now I am, but I could safely say 4 years ago I was not comfortable in front of a camera. No way whatsoever. So you will start getting more comfortable in front of the camera, holding a mic like I am right now. Or if you don't have a mic to hold, you will be more comfortable with the lights and everything else. So start doing. Even if bad, start doing. This is another lesson in here. Then, when it comes to the job searching itself, it is hard as heck. So I used LinkedIn to look for jobs. I talked with people from my previous company because they work in HR. They are recruiters. So I asked if they knew of some opportunities for me. Not many came my way, but some that came my way didn't really fit with my skills. I feel that I was not ready for some of those opportunities because I'm not that senior, or those companies are really looking for the top players, and I'm still not the top player. I want to become one, but I'm still not one. So yeah, it was hard. The opportunities were not coming. I was talking with friends and asking them if they had any opportunities whatsoever to send my way, and I started searching, and actually I found that looking for remote jobs, which was my focus, remote jobs, remote freelance gigs. I was searching for those in Portugal because I'm in Portugal. But the thing is, Portuguese companies hiring remotely, they are really picky about the talents that they want, and they are really set on paying you the least they can. So it's not worthwhile, because when it comes the time to pay your taxes, you will pay a lot and they will pay barely anything. So it's not worth it. So I started to survey the international market and seeing remote opportunities that could deal with my time zone, which is GMT. And I found a couple of those. And I applied to many. I have a massive list of things that I applied to. Let me check. This is the post-its with all the job openings that I applied to, and almost every single one of those is not for me because they rejected me. And this is quite frustrating, but I applied to many of those jobs that were aligned with what I want and what I have as my skills, but I was getting those rejections. So I was already aware that that was going to happen. So I wasn't too surprised, but I was a bit frustrated. Let's admit it. If you have a lot of talent, people tell you that you have a lot of talent. The companies you work with say that you have a lot of talent and you helped a lot. And then you have the expertise, or in my case, I have 14 years creating content, and people still say that it's not enough. It gets a bit weird. So in Portugal, people are usually, it's not enough. I don't understand why, but that's a different talk. I started surveying a couple of companies outside of Portugal, and I found a couple of those that either replied to me, which was kind. Even with the rejection, it was kind to actually reply to me. Some actually gave feedback back, which is fun, and I like to see that. But this is something that can be automated, so it's not necessarily because a company is nice to you, it's because they have that in basically set up to make you think that their company is amazing. And of course, there were some that contacted me and said, well, Vanessa, let's go for an interview. So I had 2 of those experiences this week. And one of those was for a freelance gig, in which, let me tell you, I am not the biggest fan of using Zoom. Zoom as a platform for video calls is god awful. In the last couple of years has been awful. It was amazing before the COVID pandemic, but after that, it's become something completely different. So yeah. So I opened the link for the interview. The PC was thinking. I'm going to admit this. My PC is not this. It is not the slowest out there. It is a video editing PC with 32 gigabytes of RAM, and it has an NVIDIA's 4080. So there should be no problem whatsoever when it comes to running an application like Zoom. But I started the application. Zoom Workspace didn't work. It was lagging as hell. And this was 20 minutes before the call. It was lagging. Then I opened OBS and I thought, well, at least I'm going to set up the camera and the microphone. I set up the camera. OBS crashed. I don't know why, but the recent update is crashing all the time. The mic was desyncing the sound, which is another thing that I didn't understand why it was happening. But this is something that I will be researching later on. So I thought, well, let's at least install it on my mobile phone, and it can work with some headphones. It will be a bit of a cheap setup for an interview, especially a job interview in which I have to look the bare minimum nice and professional, and I'm actually having a call on my mobile phone like I am at a bar or at a cafe, which is not acceptable usually. But yeah, I set it up on my mobile phone. I opened the app. The app crashed on me. Once again, my smartphone is also not the slowest out there. It's also not an iPhone or whatever, but it is, let's say, a €400 smartphone, so it should work. It is focused on productivity, so it is fast, but it crashed. Then I finally got into the call with 3 minutes of delay between the set time for the call. And I was already thinking, well, this person is going to hate me because I arrived so late to this interview. By far, they are going to think she doesn't work with deadlines really well. She doesn't appear when she needs to appear. She's not professional. I actually emailed the person in question as I was having crashes all the time, everywhere basically, letting them know that I will be there in 3 minutes. Please wait for me. So yeah, what happened was basically that I entered with my smartphone. Finally, it worked, and we started the interview. Finally. I was already too stressed out for the interview because of all the technical hiccups that I had. Not because of the interview itself. I'm quite calm during the interviews because I know what I know. I'm an expert about what I say I'm an expert. So I'm not lying on my CV. I'm not lying when I apply. So I'm quite comfortable when I go to an interview. Right now, I believe that nothing really scares me in an interview unless I'm going to talk with the CEO, which is going to be another topic in this video. But yeah, I was talking with the person and I was saying, I'm so sorry, this didn't happen to me in the previous interviews that I had. And I don't know, somehow in these 15 minutes prior to the interview starting, everything started to go downhill. And the interviewer said, well, actually, you don't have to worry. This happens all the time to me. And it happened to me when I was doing a presentation for a company a couple of days ago. And I was relaxed because when people don't understand the technical hiccups that you go through, it can leave a really bad mark. But if the other person actually understands what you went through to get to that place, they see themselves in that problem, it's much easier. This is something that actually ties up with a different thing that I'm going now on a tangent, but this is a really good tangent, is that usually at companies there are people that like to tell you what to do, and they don't know what you do. They don't even try to do what you do, but they think they know what you do. We all know those people. The people that will say, I can create content fast, or why are you taking 2 or 3 hours to create a video when I could create a video much faster, or you are being inefficient because you are taking 4 hours to create a 1 minute video edit when they never edited a video in their life. They don't even know how to edit a video. They would need to have the software to actually edit that video, and with the requirements that they have set to edit their video, they would take, I would say, 7-8 hours if they could actually understand how to edit a video. But they will still tell you those types of things. You may have encountered that with different things, for example, with social media. Oh, my cousin can write content for social media. Yeah, everyone can. That's valid. But can they create content that actually follows a strategy? Can they create content that actually converts? Can they create content that actually leverages your brand in the best way? Maybe they can't. Well, quite possibly they can't. So that's something that I really don't like about companies. And when I spot these types of people in as bosses or superiors in some way within a company, I already know that I'm going to have a really bad time. I had that bad time in the previous companies that I worked with because people liked to do those kinds of, or make those kinds of comments, but they didn't actually put themselves in our shoes or in my shoes to actually understand that things take time to create. So they didn't understand that there was no empathy when it came to, well, if I take 4 hours to create a video that is 1 minute long, it's because I'm doing it as fast as I can because I'm a professional. So if I do this professionally and you laid out some things that I need to follow when I edit the video, and I need to have a certain language, a certain image, a certain way to edit, I'm going to take my time. Of course, some things start to be automated the longer I work with the brand or the longer I work with the person, but there are some things that will always take some time. You need to adjust things, you need to look for the perfect music, you need to look for the perfect effects, you need to think where I'm going to make the jump cuts or the cuts or edits, whatever, it will take time. When you look at one video that is 1 minute long, maybe there's 4, 6, 7 hours there of work that one video editor had to actually try to explain to the employer that it's actually really, really fast editing. You shouldn't expect something really insanely fast because you aren't going to get that much quality, of course. So yeah, back to the point. In this case, the recruiter was really nice and they said that they understood completely the situation. So we started the conversation. What happens midway through? Finally, Zoom workspace starts working on my PC. So the interviewer says, well, you are joining the call twice. And I said, no. How? And I was joining the interview twice. What happened? The camera on my PC was not set up properly because I needed OBS to set it up properly, to cut a bit of my background because I didn't want people to see most of my studio/bedroom. What happened was that when I was recording, this was how I looked in their camera. It was not nice. I will admit it. It was not nice. So I really thought, oh my God, I just lost the only good lead I had in 12 days. 11. In 11 days. To something so stupid as nothing working on the technical side on my end, and I'm supposed to be someone that works with tech all the time, and I'm used to cameras, I'm used to OBS, I'm used to lighting, I'm used to microphones, I'm used to everything, and my PC is actually custom made to actually make everything of that work, because I do that, and I have been doing that for 4 years at least. So it was kind of frustrating that I was thinking, well, I'm wasting so much time here, and I'm wasting this person's time, and they are going to think it's not worth it to work with her. Actually, the conversation went well, and we were talking about the common pains that we have, what I could help with, and what they are trying to achieve, especially as a small company looking for freelance talent to help them take some weight off their shoulders. And we actually hit it off pretty well. It was an interesting conversation that ended up really, really funny, and the vibes were good, which is something that is positive, and something that I usually try to check when I'm talking with someone during a meeting is that there are people that fake being entertained, there are people that fake being nice, and there are people that are trying to read you and are really cold throughout the interview. I always try to crack a joke, because I want to see if people genuinely are laughing and reacting to me, or if they are almost like a robot, just thinking it's just another one. And if they are not engaged, I already know that they are not interested. So I try to always make a joke here and there. Of course, one that makes sense within the conversation. Please don't try to crack jokes at every single recruiter, because it may not work. But in this case, I noticed that the vibes were good and the person was receptive, so I cracked a joke, and we were laughing for quite a while during the interview because of that. Because we understood the problem that we had in common, and by the end of the call, even before the call was supposed to end, they said, well, Vanessa, I already asked everything I needed to ask. You already answered everything you needed to answer, and I'm confident that I want to work with you. I got the gig. So I closed the gig in the same day, and I signed the contract in the same day. So that's closed. That's less one problem on my end. On the other hand, I've applied as well, not only for freelance gigs, but also to full-time jobs, because people have to pay their bills. And while I want to create this massive business on my own, just about content creation, I also know that when we are starting, money doesn't come easy. And I need something a bit more stable in the meantime. And in the meantime could be 1 year, 2 years, but I still am focusing on this journey of being a freelancer and getting my own money, rightful money, for my work as a freelancer, more so than being stuck in a 9-to-5 job and having to do the same things, almost like a robot. It is a routine in which you do the same things over and over again every single week. So, but still, I like something routinely, but it needs to be a really interesting job. In this case, I found one really interesting job, and a really high-paying one. And I was thinking, this is a long shot to apply to this one, because I never had a senior position, but I feel that with 14 years creating content, even if it was not professionally, because I only started creating content professionally 5 years ago, I'm already in a middle management type of situation. And I would be okay with the middle management situation within a company when it comes to a marketing department or a content creation department, if you want to go even niche within the department. But I actually applied to a massive role. I'm not going to give too many details because I don't know if I'm going to get that job at all. But if I get that job, I will tell you what it is, or even if I don't get it, if I know that I was rejected, I will talk a bit more about that possibility. So yeah, I used LinkedIn to apply to jobs. Only one of those jobs, the high-paying one with a seniority, it's basically a seniority position, came from LinkedIn, but the other one came from Arc, which is, I would say, a platform for freelancers and also full-time people looking for full-time jobs as well, but primarily for freelancers. They are based in the US. I was not paid to talk about them, so not sponsored. But I found them by chance on LinkedIn because someone was talking about the platform. I believe the creator or someone working at the company was talking about that, and I thought, well, it's a good shot. I'm not having many opportunities when it comes to freelance gigs. It's really sparse, the opportunities that I get, and what bet can it make to leave my portfolio there and my CV and, well, apply to jobs or basically have people contacting me back because they want to work with me. So I decided to create an account there, set everything up on my profile. Please, when you are setting up your profile in a platform for freelancers or a platform for work, please be as detailed as possible in your profile, because people will check your profile. And if you just say, I worked at A, and then I worked at B, and then I worked at C, and then I made a pause, and then I worked at D, people don't know what you did. You need to say, I did A, B, C, and D in this job, and what were the results that I got? These were the results. And if you do that systematically for all the the jobs that you had in the past that are relevant for, or that you consider relevant to add in your CV, please add those. When it comes to your profile, the same thing. Do that as well. Make sure that if you are in a creative industry like myself, content creation, your CV is at least a bit creative. Don't make it too full of everything, but make it creative in some way to show a bit of your personality. And ensure that your photo is professional, please. Don't put photos from parties and vacations and everything else. So yeah, I created all of that. I only focused on detailing what I did and the results that I got, and the same thing on my CV, and left it there. Tried to apply to some jobs, was rejected to some, was actually shortlisted to others, and actually got an interview for one. And that one was the freelance gig that I closed. So I will basically leave the link to Arc in the description in case you are looking for a freelance job within the US or even internationally, because I am based in Portugal and I will be basically working with a company within the Eastern time zone. So these can work for anyone in Europe or outside of Europe as well. So yeah, the journey so far, 13 days, has been grueling because I have been working non-stop on content for my YouTube channel, The Handed Fizz HQ, content for this YouTube channel as well, and now I recorded this video, so I will be recording more videos after that. And also I have been applying to jobs, preparing for interviews, and trying to find some time to relax. It's been a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie. I've worked more in these 12 days than I have worked all year long. It's been non-stop working. I only stopped to sleep and eat. Genuinely. So I was having a more relaxed life when I was working full time, which is crazy. But yeah, working freelance is not easy. Results don't come fast. You are seeing me talking about getting a gig, a freelance gig in 11 days, but I will tell you, I was let go from the company 2 weeks ago, and I was looking basically for a job since June. Freelance gigs since June, and a full-time job since October when I was told that I would be leaving the company by the end of November. So I have been doing my groundwork. While it seems like it's been only 12 days, the freelance gig that I got, of course, it only came after 12 days since I left the company that let me go. But I had been doing a work behind the scenes since June, and that's a lot of work. Although I was not doing that too seriously because I thought that I would be staying with that company for a while, and I was only surveying the market because, well, why not surveying the market? If there are better opportunities that let me grow and do things that I really love, why not? So I was surveying the market back then. but not taking things too seriously. I only started taking things too seriously in October, and I only started to apply to things like crazy and really personalize my applications like crazy in November. And that's when I started to personalize my applications. I started to get the yeses or the feedback of no, but we liked this and that and that. So it made a bit of a difference, more so than the spray and pray that I was doing since June. And as well, the fact that I was spray and pray since June was for the remote gigs, the freelance gigs. So that would still work with my full-time job, so that's not a problem. But since October, I have been working on finding a job for myself. It was the full month of October was absolute hell for me because I was looking for a job full-time, and I was still doing work for the company that was letting me go, and I was desperate to find something, and I was not seeing something. For 4 straight weeks, I got no's or silence. So yeah, recruiters still are really in that trend of ghosting people. So yeah, although they talk about not ghosting people, they still ghost people. So yeah. But yeah, this is a summary of my journey right now, or up until now, of 2 weeks creating content and trying to apply for jobs. 12 days after leaving the company that deemed me redundant, I found a remote gig paying more than the job that I was doing than what I was being paid in that job, and I'm working 3 times less than I was working for them. I was working 35-hour weeks for that company, and now I'm working 10-hour weeks for this company for more money. So makes a big difference, and I'm working it is almost like a part-time paying me as a full-time, but the full-time base or the base money is already a lot. So it makes a whole lot of difference how I could actually upgrade from one job to another, and it took me 12 days of actually being really detailed in the way that I was applying to jobs. And when it comes to the full-time job, well, let's see what comes from here, but I will still be really happy with this freelance gig because I like the vibes. I will be back working with an agency, which is something that I love, although I am developing things for my own agency, Uzumibi agency, but it is still a bit of a side hustle when it comes to website development and content creation for companies. In case you actually want a full on Webflow or WordPress website, do get in touch with me. I do have that expertise with an awesome team behind me. Self-plug ended. This is probably the end of the video. I need to record more videos. I'm not going to edit much of this one. Maybe I'm going to show a couple of metrics on the screen, but I will keep it as simple as it is. I hope this video was useful in some capacity. And I'll see you guys in the next one.